Hi, this is Jessica Kalinowski, and this is week 7 of Using Information Effectively in Philosophy. This week we had to do a reading by Roger K. Loyce. It's on play, and he defines it as a free activity standing quite consciously outside ordinary life as being not serious, but at the same time absorbing the player intensely and utterly. And what is very relevant to us is that it proceeds within its own proper boundaries of time and space according to fixed rules and in an orderly manner. This is like a good definition of a chaotic system where a basic principle controls everything that happens within the system. And another interesting factor of play is that nothing is ever gained. Property may be exchanged, but no goods are produced, and in the end, nothing really changes from before beginning the game. And because a game is set within agreed boundaries, the game's domain is therefore a restricted, closed, protected universe, a pure space. And I like to think of this as a good example of a fractal. Where there's an infinite amount of gameplay that can happen within the finite space of the set of rules or the time space of the game. And there are attributes of the chaotic system that of the gameplay that are set out in our reading. They are free. The games are free, separate, uncertain, unproductive, governed by rules, and make-believe. So all these factors can be a part of a game, or some can, just not happen. But they're all part of a game, and those are their attributes. There are 4 categories of games: Agon, Alea, Mimicry, and Illynx. Agon is competitive games where each opponent is given at the very beginning equal chances of succeeding. Every opportunity to make the sides equal is presented in order to really understand who, when they win, that it's based off a skill, and the better has the better skill than the other opponent. So games like this are like soccer and football, and my example with this is lion cubs. When they play, they often battle against each other, they compete against each other, and try to knock each other down, or bite each other, or get the other one to cry out first. And this is very interesting because not just because it's play, but it's also teaching them skill sets to, in later in life, in adulthood, for hunting, actually. And so it's very helpful for them to learn in later in life. And Alea is games of chance. It's anywhere where the player leaves everything to an outcome that they can't control. Everything is left up to fate and not skill. So games like poker, dice, or anything like that. So a lot of children actually don't like playing this, probably just because it's not very fun in their mindset, because a lot of chance games go with money, and kids don't really have money, so there's not really any point in playing. And a third category is mimicry, and that's any game that presupposes a temporary acceptance of an imaginary universe. So any game where the child or adult makes believes. So any game where you're acting or where you're wearing a mask or anything like that. And my example, the article shows a lot about insects that use mimicry, which is pretty interesting, but my example is pretty awesome because it not only mimics more than one animal. It's the Indonesian mimic octopus, and it can mimic up to 15 different species of other fish, um, or other cephalopods, or anything really. And it's very interesting just because it can change not only its color, but it can change the way it has the placement of its tentacles, and it almost looks exactly like what it's going for. And this helps it not only in play, but in survival. Um, and the last form of play is a lynx, which are games based on the pursuit of vertigo and the enjoyment of temporary panic and loss of control. And that's basically like when kids run around in circles and then get really dizzy and fall down, or when you ride a roller coaster. And that's that little surge of adrenaline that most people, thrill seekers, really love. And the American Nighthawk is the one that they use in the article, but another really interesting one is the red-tailed hawk, which is similar in that its mating rituals are where they circle each other, and the male dives down at steady increments, so it dives down and goes back up and dives down and goes back up, and then it oftentimes touches the female's back, or at other instances they grab talons together and lock each other and then dive down again. So it's very interesting to see. So that's what I have for this week.